Every great cause begins as a movement, becomes a business, and eventually degenerates into a racket. YouTubers are no exception.
What the hell are you talking about?
There are a lot of financial YouTubers with platforms who have become a little irresponsible even though they started out with really good content. They started out with a genuinely helpful message, but have just become clickbait.
That's for selling out your beliefs.
So why are financial YouTubers failing us?
Question. May I investigate?
Yeah, drop what you're doing. Make this a priority.
Well, it's simple. They are a business.
That's very clever.
While our satisfaction isn't nothing to them, once they have a sizable platform, it isn't about being right as much as it is about engagement. In the short term, their ad revenue isn't really affected by your enjoyment of the video as much as it is by the view, and their views go up a lot more when they utilize clickbait tactics.
If you ask me, you're the real sellout.
YouTube is its own little online ecosystem, and businesses within it work within a slightly different framework from traditional media. These differences have allowed for clickbait content, because like any clickbait material, consumers don't pay for it directly. There is no cost to the consumer other than wasting their time. You don't have to stop and think as much about each click as you do compared to a purchase of something. It isn't like buying a book on investing, where a rational consumer will consider what has higher reviews, if it's well regarded, or written by a reasonable authority. You just click.
Yes, that's a real pickle.
Because if you're wrong, your loss is limited to how long you watch the video. It's not like you spent $25 on a book that turned out to be useless. So what are the consequences of this going forward?
I don't know.
Will they continue to make money from doing this?
Yes.
Will they stop doing something that makes money?
No.
Will people keep watching their content?
Yes.
Because you see, the sad reality is clickbait material works. And it's not just the clickbait, it's the inconsistencies, the dramatization and fear-mongering. Constantly talking about how the market is crashed or how it's going to crash, how you should stop buying stocks, stop buying homes and stop saving money. And that was all within 2 weeks. But unfortunately, this is not the end. This will continue. And to be fair, there is actually a lot of really good content that is genuinely helpful in these channels. But here is where we as consumers are our own worst enemies with respect to clickbait material. Because the videos I just cited, which have come out in the last 2 weeks, each got significantly more views than videos from 2 months ago, with titles focused on how to make money in the stock market or how to make money in your 20s, which I think objectively is just better content or more useful to people. We are not rewarding good content, and in doing so, we are just punishing ourselves. So other than this being a bit of a rant,
Hell does this have to do with anything?
well, essentially I just wanted to stop and offer this critique, because I believe that individuals consuming content on YouTube need to be aware of these realities and think critically, given that I just don't foresee a likelihood of YouTubers being held accountable or to higher standards in the near future.
What?
I think the trends we are seeing will continue.
If these trends continue, hey!
I'm not going to say don't go on YouTube. I think there's a lot of value on here. A lot of questions can be answered. It's a good community and an incredibly useful resource. But like any tool, it needs to be used appropriately. And you can only use something appropriately if you understand its strengths and weaknesses. So when you are listening to any YouTuber on any content, but particularly when we're talking about finance, you need to think critically. You need to evaluate different sources and different views and come to your own conclusions. There is a lot of value, and there still will be a lot of value going forwards. But unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of trash, a lot of clickbait, and a lot of emotional titles. And that content is being produced because it appeals to our emotional side. It's going to be something you want to watch more than maybe a more boring but rational video on investing. But it's the latter which is actually going to put you in a good position to experience a higher degree of financial wealth and secure a future for yourself, and not clickbait material that's just offering trash. Anyway, this video wasn't exactly a structured guide to any particular point. This really was just a bit of a rant, but something that I think needed to be said. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and if you have anything you want me to talk about in future videos, let me know below in the comments.